Procrastination is not laziness, and it's not a lack of discipline either. In fact, most people who procrastinate care deeply about their lives. They want to improve. They want to do better. They want to change. Yet somehow, they keep delaying the very things that matter most. To understand why this happens, we need to look beyond motivation and into psychology. Because procrastination is not a time management problem. It is an emotional one. At its core, procrastination is your mind trying to protect you from discomfort, from fear, from failure, from judgment, and sometimes from success itself. When you delay a task, your brain isn't saying, "I don't want to do this." It's saying, "I don't want to feel what this task makes me feel." That feeling could be anxiety, overwhelm, self-doubt, or the quiet fear that you might try and still fall short. Psychologists call this emotional avoidance. Your brain chooses short-term relief over long-term growth. Scrolling your phone, watching another video, planning instead of starting. These behaviors reduce discomfort now, but increase regret later. And your brain loves short-term rewards. Here's something most people don't realize. The brain does not prioritize what's important. It prioritizes what feels safe. That's why you can easily do small, familiar tasks, but freeze when it's time to start something meaningful. Big goals threaten your identity. They ask questions like, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if people judge me? So your mind delays action, hoping the discomfort will disappear. But it never does. There's a powerful psychological concept called temporal discounting. It means the brain values immediate pleasure more than future rewards. Finishing a project brings satisfaction later. Avoiding it brings comfort now. So the brain chooses comfort. Not because you're weak, but because you're human. Another reason procrastination happens is perfectionism. Many people believe procrastination comes from not caring enough. In reality, it often comes from caring too much. When you want something to be perfect, starting feels dangerous, because once you begin, you expose yourself to imperfection. So you wait, you plan, you research, you prepare endlessly. But preparation becomes a hiding place. Perfectionism whispers, "Not yet, you're not ready." And years quietly pass. There's a quote that captures this perfectly. You don't fear the work. You fear what the work will reveal about you. Another hidden driver of procrastination is identity conflict. If your current habits don't match the person you want to become, your brain feels internal resistance. Change threatens the familiar version of you, even if that version is unhappy. The known pain feels safer than the unknown growth. So your mind delays change to preserve identity. Now here's the most important part. How do you stop procrastinating? Not with motivation, not with willpower, and not with guilt. Those things fade quickly. You stop procrastinating by changing your relationship with discomfort. Instead of asking, "How do I feel like doing this?" you ask, "Can I tolerate feeling uncomfortable for 5 minutes?" Because action does not follow motivation. Motivation follows action. One of the most effective psychological tools is the 5-minute rule. You don't commit to finishing the task. You only commit to starting. 5 minutes. That's it. Your brain stops resisting because the threat feels small. And once you begin, momentum often takes over. Not always, but often enough to change your life. Another powerful shift is separating self-worth from performance. When failure feels like an attack on your identity, procrastination becomes protection. But when failure becomes feedback, action becomes safer. You are not your productivity. You are not your results. You are not your mistakes. When your worth is stable, action becomes easier. Environment matters more than discipline. If distraction is easy, procrastination will win. Design your surroundings to reduce friction. Put your phone away. Open the document first. Remove decisions. Less choice means less resistance. There's also something called self-compassion, and it's one of the most underrated productivity tools. Studies show that people who forgive themselves for procrastinating are less likely to repeat it. Shame creates avoidance. Compassion creates progress. Talk to yourself the way you would talk to someone you care about. Firm, but kind. Here's another truth most people ignore. You don't need to eliminate procrastination. You need to act despite it. Even disciplined people procrastinate. They just don't obey it. They feel resistance and move anyway. Ancient philosophers understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You don't have to feel ready. You just have to act in alignment with reason. Action first, emotion later." Procrastination doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're avoiding something that matters. And that's actually a sign of potential. The question isn't, why am I like this? The question is, what small action can I take right now, even if I don't feel like it? Growth begins there, not in motivation, not in inspiration, but in quiet, imperfect action. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are not failing. You are human. And you can train your mind to move forward one uncomfortable step at a time.